Hello guys, welcome back to another video on BDD session. So in this video, we are going to see a scenario outline. There is a one more concept in BDD, that is scenario outline, how to use that scenario outline in this video. So in the previous video, we have used a scenario. So this scenario, it has been executed only once when you execute this feature file. So again, we will have some scenarios. We have to execute a same scenario with multiple times because if I take an example, let me go to my browser and I have taken this website for this session. So here you can see the form here. So their user can fill the first name, last name, and their email and their gender. Means the user can fill all their complete information here in this page. Suppose I want to fill at least 5 user information. So in this form. So now, if you go to this scenario, so you have to write a 5 scenarios in order to create a 5 user instance, right? Instead of doing that, so in Cucumber, it has come up with a feature that is scenario outline. The scenario outline will execute the same scenario with multiple times. So we will see that in a moment. So here we are going to use a keyword scenario outline, not scenario as of now. So here I want to create a multiple user, means I want to register multiple students here, at least a 3 student I want to register, means I want to enter 3 student information. So here navigate to demo QA site and create multiple students. Okay, sorry, students. So here, as of now, I want to create a multiple student with scenario outline. So again, if you do a mouse over on scenario outline, it is giving a error because whenever you are using a scenario outline, you have to provide one more keyword, that is example. That is a mandatory you have to provide. So here in the next line, let me provide examples. That is a one more keyword whenever you are using with the scenario outline. So the first statement I will take given. Okay, so in a given working keyword, so I will provide the same launch Chrome browser. So I don't want to provide one more statement here. So I'm going to use the same statement what we have provided for our earlier scenario. So coming to the next statement, so and enter the URL. So now this time I want to enter a different URL. So here I want to create a multiple students. I will copy this and I will go here and I will provide this URL. Okay. So whenever the user navigate to this URL, when student registration page is displayed, enter. So here I want to enter, let me keep it simple so it won't instead of filling the complete information, let me fill the first name, last name, and then email, and then their phone numbers. So just only 4 data I want to fill it as of now. So what I will do, enter the first name and then last name and then their email address and their phone number. Then just I need to close the browser. Okay, so here we have written our scenario. So given launch the browser Chrome and enter the URL of our demoqa.com and automation practice form. So there it will provide me the form. There I can enter the student information, and when the page is displayed, I want to enter the first name, last name, and their email, and then their phone number, And then after that, instead of clicking a save, I just need to close the browser. So I don't want to create it, just I need to fill that form and then I have to close that browser instance. And coming to this example, we have not provided any data. So then how to create a data in this example? So if you want to provide any data in this example, so we are going to give it within the pipeline operator like this. So here the first data I want to provide the first name, and again, so that is a first column. So I want to provide, again I want to provide the last name and then their email address and then their phone number, phone underscore number. Okay, so whenever you're creating a data using an example keyword, so you have to specify the data like this using a pipeline operator. So this will be the table header now. So now I want to provide the data. So the first name I'm going to take student1, and I will take the last name as stu1, and then their email address st1@gmail.com, and then their phone number I will take 1234. Okay, just I'm giving some random data. So again, I'm going to create one more student, student2, and then I will give a student pass last name as a 2 and email st2@gmail.com, and I'm going to give 56789. I'm going to create a one more student, student 3, and stu 3, and then st3 at the rate gmail.com, and some random number. Yes, so this is done. So now we have specified the data under a keyword example. So now how to read this data in this scenario now? If you want to read the data, so again I have specified in a line number 12, when the student registration page is displayed, enter the first name and then last name, email and phone number. So in order to read the data, so you can see that the table header now. So I have given it as first name, last name, email and then phone underscore name. So you have to provide as it is within the angular braces. So here I will take a angular braces. This is a first name, and coming to the last name. So again, that should be in a angular braces. So now after providing a angular braces, now you can notify one thing, the color on the text has been changed once you are reading the data in a line number 12. So again, email, so that is in a angular braces, again in a phone number, so that is also in a angular braces. So again, it not in the color because so I have given the table head as a phone underscore name, so we have to provide as it is phone underscore name. So again, let me execute this and let us see so how this step definition will be created. Do a right click and then run this scenario. Okay, oops, it has started executing the first scenario. So because for the first scenario, we already have a step definition, that is why it has started executing it. And again, you can see that it has executed a skip test script. So instead of executing the scenario one, let me do one thing. Let me comment this as of now. So because so whenever you run any scenario, so first it will check the step definition, then only it will provide the unimplemented step definition. For the scenario one, already we have a step definition under this automation practice.java. Already we have created in our previous video. And again, so I have commented that, and again, so you can see that line number 4, the same line of code I have copied to the line number 10. So again, if I execute this scenario outline, again it will rerun the same step definition one more time. So I don't want to do that. Let me comment here also, in line number 10, and let me run this as of now, run this scenario. So now we can see that it has not launched any browser, and you can see that it has executed a three example. So you can see that with a hashtag example one. So let me go to the example one. So there it has reader data student one, stu1 and st, and then it is reading the integer data. So now you can notice one thing. So only it has picked the int data. Apart from that, the data we have provided in a different column, it has not given it as an argument. Then how to read this data, right? So again, if you go to the example 2, there also it is the same scenario, but the data has been student 2, and come to the example 3, there also it is a student 3. So again, it is the same code, it has been repeated multiple times, right? So I don't want to give a multiple code as of now. So instead of giving it as a duplicated code, so what I will do, so the data you are going to read, so you just specify within a double quote. Okay, so let me keep this last name also in double quotes, and phone number. So I don't want to keep it as an int. I want to read that data as a string format. So let me run this. So before running that, so let me go to run, and let me copy this. Let me go to the notepad, and let me give it here. So I want to show the difference how this working after you specify the data in a double quotes. Okay, so let me rerun it. Okay, so now we can see that it has been executed three times, but you can see there is no much difference. So again, in the previous video, so whenever I see a when step, okay, so there it has read the data as a student. So now after you specify that angular braces, so within double quotes, it has converted to a string, and previously it has taking it as the only one argument for the method. So now it is a three argument. So now this is a difference. Whenever you are providing multiple examples, make sure that you're going to give that column data within double quotes. So let me copy this and specify it here. Okay, and you can see the difference as of now in a one step. Okay, so it has been taken it as an argument. So now it is easier for us to pass these data in our step definition. So what I will do, I will go to the step definition. So already we have created a automation step definition, automation practice. So let me go inside and let me paste this step definition. So let me remove this through exceptions. Okay, so done. So enter the, we can see that the first statement, that is the enter URL, and you will have one more question, that is, so why it has not given a step definition for this launch browser Chrome. So you can see that line number 10 already it is defined in line number 4. So this statement already we have given a step definition in a previous video. So this is a step definition, already we have implementation. So Cucumber, whenever it is see the duplicate statement, it is not going to provide one more step definition. Instead of that, it is going to reutilize the same. So here also it is doing the same. And here, so when I come to the next statement, that is enter the URL. So this I'm going to change the argument URL. Sorry, it is URL driver dot get URL. So I'm just entering the URL. So whenever this registration page is displayed, okay, so I want to enter. So this will be the first name, and this will be the last name, and this will be the email, and the last one, it is a phone number. So here for the argument, you can specify any argument, or else you can keep the default and you can use as it is. So here I have just renamed it in order to use inside a method. So let me go back to this website and let me identify this text field, first name, and you can see that it is a input and which is having a ID. So I will take this ID as a attribute, and here, so first enter the first name. So driver dot find element. So it is not find element, so it is a find element by dot ID first name dot. So here I want to pass the data send keys. So I want to pass the first name. So after that I have to enter the last name of a student, last name, driver dot find element by dot. So let me inspect the last name. So again, which is having a ID last name dot ID last name dot send keys last name. So after that, I have to enter the email. So let me inspect that text field as well. Email. Okay, so again, it is also having a ID user email. Copy that. Driver dot find element by dot ID user email dot send keys email, and enter a phone number. So let me inspect this text field, and so it is also having a ID user number, driver dot find element by dot ID dot send keys, and it is a phone number. Okay, so here I have entered all the four information of a student which is coming from our feature file, and after that, in a then step, close the browser. So here I will make it as driver dot close. So what I'm doing, so first I'm entering that URL of our demo QA, and then I'm getting the data from our feature file. I'm passing all these four information, and I'm entering through to that text field, and then I'm closing the driver instance. So after that, so let me print. So what actually it is reading the data whenever I try to execute that feature file. So here I'm going to give uh, string dot format. So percentage s, that is for first name, percentage s, and then percentage s, and then percentage s. So here I want to read the first name and last name and their email address, and the last one, which is the phone number. Okay, so first name and last name and email and phone number. Okay, so here at the end I'm printing that information, and let me check so how this data will be iterated. Okay, so what I will do, let me close all this browser, Okay, let me go back to this feature file. So let me uncomment the line number 10, because so if I uncomment, if I not uncommented that one, it will start executing from the entering the URL. So without launching the browser, I can't enter the URL. So just I will uncomment, and let me do a right click and this run this scenario. Okay, so now we can see that it has been started. So it has started the first instance of a Chrome browser, and it has launched the browser, and it has entered that URL. Okay, so it is taking some time. Okay, so you can see that it has entered the first data, so it has been quite fast. So let us see after the execution is done. So it has entered the student 1. So now this time it will be the student 2. Again, this is the last execution, student 3. Okay, so now we can see that our test result has been passed. Now you can see. So again, in the first execution, in the first instance of a Chrome browser, you can see that this is the data. It has been entered. Student 1, last name is a STU, and then their email address and the phone number. Again, for the second instance, again it has entered student 2, and again in the last instance it has been executed student 3. Again, you can see that it has executed a 3 scenario, and around it is a 12 step. So how it will be executed a 3 scenario, but we have written only one scenario outline. So because it has executed 3 times based on the data what we have provided in the example. Suppose if I add a one more data with a student 4, so it will try to execute one more instance of a Chrome browser. This is how the scenario outline will be worked in the BDD Cucumber. So whenever if you want to run a same scenario with multiple set of data, and if you don't want to duplicate the same line of code again and again, so you can go with the scenario outline. So again, if you see the run, so it has calculated the scenario, how many scenario it has executed. So it has executed a 3 scenario, and it is a 12 step. So 12 steps it has been calculated, because based on this the 4 steps we have written. So 4 steps we have that has been executed 3 times, that is 4 times 3, and that will be executed 12 steps. And also it will give the result and how much time it has took. Around 43 seconds it has to took in order to launch the 3 instance of a Chrome browser. So it is same similar like your test ng. So there you are using a data driven, so it is like a same concept. So here also, if you see the data under the examples, so it has been like a iteration. It will take the first row data, and it will execute in a one instance of a browser, and again it will close the instance. Again after that it will go to the next iteration, and it will execute the next set of data, and again it will go to the next set of data. So it is like picking the data in a row wise. It will pick the first row and then go to the next row, and then it will going to read the data in a row wise. So this is how we are going to use a scenario outline. So this is how this scenario outline is going to work, and this is our step definition. Again in run, so you can see that every time it has entered a different data, it is not a same data. So in the first step it has student 1, and in the second run it is a student 2, and it is in the last step it is a student 3. So this is how you can run a same scenario with multiple times using scenario outline. Whenever you are using a scenario outline, make sure that you are using a one more keyword, that is example. Otherwise you will get a error. So that is all for this video. Thank you.